Okay. Uh, Good evening to all. Myself, Ashish Sarubatnagar. I am Secretary to Ethical Standard Board. Welcome to this new webcast of Ethical Standard Board on Code of Ethics, Intricacies of Disciplinary Matters. I welcome Chairman of Ethical Standard Board, Dr. C.A. Anuj Goyal sir, and Vice Chairman of Ethical Standard Board, C.A. Mangesh Kendre sir. And the speaker for today, who is also their special invitee of Ethical Standard Board, CA Ayush Jain ji. CA Ayush Jain is a founder of a startup which has been conceptualized for assisting and empowering the practicing units in leading flawless professional life and also in capacity building. He is a special invitee and member of Ethical Standard Board of ICI for 22 to 25. During the process of acquiring his certificate, he became passionate and determined to bring qualitative improvement and delivery of services being made by professionals. To pursue his goal, he started understanding the profession, public perception, functioning of practicing units, and ICI in depth. He is devoting day in out and day out to sharpen his skill set for learning, teaching, coaching, problem solving, process improvement, use of technology, code of conduct, etc. Through this initiative, he aims to bring back the glory of profession to its origin and help in bouncing to deserving levels. Uh, may I now request the Vice Chairman uh, of Ranchi of Patna branch, C. S. Sonu Kumar. Is he there? Okay. So I welcome CA Mangesh Kendre sir, who is the Vice Chairman of Ethical Standard Board. CA Mangesh Kendre sir is fellow member of ICI and is also qualified post qualification course in Information System Audit, DISA, a prolific speaker on ICI and other forums on varied topics from ICI Code of Ethics, GST, bank audit, and economy related subjects like Atmanirbhar Bharat, Union Budget, etc. He has also written many articles in newspaper and appeared on television channels as expert on Union Budget and GST. He is socially very active on various forums. He is serving his second term in the Central Council. In the Central Council, he is the chairman of Professional Development Committee and vice chairman of Ethical Standard Board of ICI. He also chaired the Ethical Standard Board in 21-22. He is also a member of various
22-23.
Yes, 22-23. Sorry, sir. He is also a member of various committees of ICI and disciplinary committee of ICI. He was also member of Central Council of ICI for the term 2016 to 2019. Significant positions in ICI
Ashish enough.
committees.
Ashish enough.
Okay.
Amana, ठीक है.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
So,
May I now request Mangesh Kendre sir to enlighten
yes,
us?
yes. Thank you, Ashish, for introducing me to the audience. Actually, I must thank the chairman of the Ethical Standard Board, Dr. C. Anuj Goyal ji, who has been taking a lot of initiatives in this Ethical Standard Board, especially these webinars are his brainchild. And I have seen that tremendous response received throughout these webinars on Ethical Standard Board. And he has been, these webinars have been instrumental in spreading knowledge and understanding about the code of ethics of ICI amongst the membership at large. And today also we are going to have this unique kind of a webinar wherein we are going to learn about code of ethics and intricacies of disciplinary mechanism. Ayush Jain, who is a faculty, has been a special invitee and also does know many intricacies himself about the disciplinary mechanism, having appeared before the bench also. And friends, actually speaking, code of ethics, if you strictly follow, then there is no question of any facing any disciplinary mechanism. So this today perhaps we are learning disciplinary mechanism in order to understand that what should not be there. and what we should not come across, and not because we should know the intricacies in this and do something which is not in the line with our code. So code of ethics in India has been on two lines, because our institute is under the Act of Parliament. We have a rule-based code by virtue of Chartered Accountants Act, regulations, guidelines, standards, etc. And being a member of ISBA, we are also following the principle-based code, which is laid down by ISBA and adapted in India. We may not be exactly following or rather adopted the same thing which ISBA has pronounced, but in condition to Indian condition, in consonance with Indian condition, we have been adapting this ISBA Code of Ethics, and I think the Volume 1 revision, that is ISBA Code of Ethics, which we are adapting, is underway, and Ethical Standard Board will surely come out with this Volume 1 very shortly. So, when we think about the disciplinary mechanism or intricacies in disciplinary mechanism, uh, I suppose that inadvertently or unknowingly, if suppose we happen to do something which is not in line with the code of ethics, how I think and what consequences are there and how one should tackle that perhaps is a subject, and not the exactly. I mean, we want to exact those who are attending this session definitely want to follow this code of ethics. So inadvertently, some mistakes happen. At times we don't intend to it. At times we are perhaps the what you can say, the threat which is there, the familiarity threat, mainly in case of small and medium practitioners, lead to these kind of intricacies where the small and medium chartered accountants face, in spite of having the full willingness and full what you can say, wherewithal to follow the code of ethics. But sometimes some issues happen, and I think today's session will definitely help each one of us to understand that if such unintentional errors happen from us, we should also know what disciplinary mechanism is all about, and therefore we will follow the code of ethics, and as far as possible avoid of understand or rather avoid facing these disciplinary aspects. And that is perhaps the intention of this today's session. So I welcome the speaker also for this session, who is definitely, I'm very confident that he will take us through in the right perspective. And of course, our chairman, Anuj Goyalji, who has been instrumental in these new developments in Ethical Standard Board. I think his leadership is really going to put a mark to this year on the Ethical Standard Board. And one can say that it is going to be a target for the future chairman to follow. So thank you very much, everyone, and wish you all happy learning. Thanks a lot.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Uh, may I now request Chairman of Ethical Standard Board, Dr. CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, sir, for his address.
अरे उनका भी इंट्रोडक्शन दे दो.
हाँ, sir. CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, sir, is a practicing chartered accountant and Central Council member of ICI. He is the one of the youngest Central Council members from the Central region. He has also served as a chairman of Ghaziabad chapter of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India and the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He has made significant contributions in his tenure of 17 years in the Central Council, 3 years in the Regional Council, and 6 years in the branch. He is currently the chairman of Ethical Standard Board and chairman of Professional Skills Enrichment Committee and Publication and CDS Directorate. He is goal-oriented man having vast experience of over 30 years and is a reservoir of knowledge that is supported by various professional degrees, including CA, CS, CMA, ICWA, LLB, MCOM, PhD, DISA, and DIRM. He is a self-motivated, enthusiastic, and hardworking person who has proved to be a great source of motivation, specifically for the youth. May I now request Chairman Sir for his address, please.
Thank you very much, CA Ashish Subbu Bhatnagarji, our Honorable Secretary of Ethical Standard Board. We are having our Honorable Vice Chairman and past Chairman of the Ethical Standard Board, CA Mangesh Kindeji, our very, very prominent Central Council member from the financial capital of the country, Mumbai, and is the chairman of the Professional Development Committee, also contributing in a great way for the cause of the profession, for the cause of the members, and for the cause of the students. I welcome on behalf of all our honorable delegates who are with us from each and every part of the country and outside country. We are having the presence of C. Ayush Jainji, a very, very prominent resource person who is contributing in a great way for the cause of the profession, the help and support of Ayushji. I think a lot of activities we have undertaken in the ethical standard board also. We are having Rasmi Jasuria ma'am, our member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and is contributing in a great way in our ethical standard board. And I welcome all our honorable members from each and every part of the country and outside country on this very, very important webinar on code of ethics and intricacies of disciplinary matters. And friends, we are very well aware that as far as the code of ethics is concerned, it is practically linked with the disciplinary mechanism also, and lot of things which one is not adhering as far as the code of ethics is concerned lead to the disciplinary action against a member of the institute, whether one is in practice or whether one is in industry or otherwise. So I'm really very happy that our honorable members are trying their level best to see that how they can really understand the code of ethics which is applicable on chartered accountants, whether one is in practice or one is in industry, and accordingly they are trying to see that how they can really follow the code of ethics. And as a chairman of the code of ethical standard board, we are trying our level best to see that how we can open the profession for the chartered accountants, and how we can ease out various provisions which may be redundant, which may not be practical in the today's scenario. So we are trying our level best to see that how we can amend those provisions which may not be practical for the chartered accountants in today's life. And friends, we are very well aware that code of ethics serves as a foundation for ethical conduct and highlights the importance of basics and fundamentals such as integrity, objectivity, professional competence, confidentiality, and professional behavior. It aims to promote trust and confidence in the profession of chartered accountancy, making sure that CAs perform their roles, responsibilities, and duties with honesty, fairness, and transparency. Compliance with these ethical guidelines is important for maintaining the trustworthiness and image of both individual accountants and the profession as a whole. Friends, the intricacies of disciplinary matters within the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India entails a structured process to address complaints of breaches of the code of ethics. When a complaint is lodged against a member, it undergoes an initial assessment by the disciplinary directorate to assess its validity. If the complaint is valid, it is referred to the disciplinary committee, which then conducts an in-depth investigation. The member in question is given an opportunity to be heard and to present their case, and the committee assesses all evidence before reaching a final decision. Then, depending on the gravity of the misconduct, the committee may inflict different sanctions ranging from reprimands to suspension or removal from the register of members for a particular period. This process underscores transparency and fairness of disciplinary system and ensures accountability and ratifies ethical standards in the profession. And friends, you must be very well aware that in each and every disciplinary committee or the board of discipline, it is mandatory that the independent government nominees should be the part of the disciplinary committee or board of discipline. And in the new disciplinary mechanism, which has been passed by the parliament, even the chairman of the disciplinary committee will be the independent government nominee. So this process is very, very independent and without fear or favor. one has to go ahead to see. I welcome CA Sunil Kumarji, our Honorable Managing Committee member of very prominent Patna branch event enabler. Welcome, Sunilji. And friends, similarly, the ethical standard boards also looks into complaints against members in case of breach of ethical standards on a case-to-case basis. This robust mechanism, ethical guidelines, and today we have with us very young and dynamic, very prominent resource person, Sri Ayush Jainji. I once again welcome Ayush Jainji, who will be giving valuable insights into the complexity of disciplinary mechanism. And friends, in another move to strengthen the professional connect in this ever-changing, challenging situation, the Ethical Standard Board has developed CA Connect portal, which was launched in 2021, and now we are bringing it with a new flavor, and we are launching it in the month of September. It's in the month of August itself, and at the capital city of Jharkhand, Ranchi. And we are trying to, Nielsen, we are trying how the CA Connect portal can be a game changer for the profession. How each and every chartered accountant who is in practice, each and every practicing chartered accountant firm can be registered on CA Connect portal. One can one can get registered at caconnect.ici.org. I will repeat, caconnect.ici.org. I will request each and every delegate, each and every member who is live with us, that please go to caconnect.ici.org, and within a minute or so, one can get oneself registered on CA Connect portal. And it is an ethical portal in which through which, of course, and a number of members of the public, the trade and industry from India, outside India, are being registered, and then they can very well access to the practicing chartered accountants who are there in each and every part of the world, according to their place of the service, according to their area of the service. One can connect to that the practicing chartered accountant firm or the practicing chartered accountant, and vice versa. So it is a very ambitious vision and mission of our Honorable President, C. Ranjit Kumar Agrawal ji. He is after our life to see that how each and every practicing chartered accountant can be registered on CA Connect portal, and how the CA Connect portal can be very effective and can be a game changer for our profession and number of services which may not be exclusive area for the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, for which the trade and industry may be looking for the best of the professionals through CA Connect portal. If those trade and industry is registered on the CA Connect portal, and our members who are the expert in those fields are registered on the CA Connect portal, then we can very well have the matchmaking of the service provider and the service seeker. So it is a very ambitious project. I am really grateful to Ashish Bhatnagar ji and Rasmi ma'am and the entire team of the Ethical Standard Board for being very active, and we have to ensure that how we can very well come to the expectations of leaders at the earliest. So friends, I will request all of you to popularize this caconnect.ici.org, and please ensure that each and every practicing chartered accountant firm is registered on CA Connect portal at the earliest. And the advantages of the CA Connect portal is that prospective clients, service seekers can conveniently search for chartered accountant for desired assignments. As the CA Connect portal ensures confidentiality and privacy of client information. CA Connect portal provides level playing ground for practicing chartered accountants, and mitigation of chances of frauds will be there. And this CA Connect portal is a very user-friendly interface, navigate effortlessly through, and intuitive interface designed to enhance productivity and ease of use, and various criteria of search are there. And we have added new features. Google location will be there, members from sorting is there, and mobile OTP is there. And city-wise location of CA-wise one can be searched, and service-wise nature of service offered by chartered accountants one can be searched, and members holding certificate of practice and firm of chartered accountants can be enrolled, and even the networks uh, of the chartered accountant firms can be enrolled, and companies registered with ICA for corporate form of practice can also be enrolled. And as far as the clients are concerned, they can very well be registered on the portal, and the practicing chartered accountants can also be registered on the portal, and then this portal can be used for matchmaking between the service provider and service seeker. So I'm really confident that we will put our best to see that how we can come up to the expectation of the membership at large and the leadership at large as far as the CA Connect portal is concerned. I once again welcome CA Ayush Jain ji and all the delegates who are live with us in thousands of numbers from each and every part of the country and outside the country also. Thank you very much. And CA Sunil Kumar ji, our Honorable Managing Committee member from Patna, very senior chartered accountant, is live with us. I once again welcome CA Sunil Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your excellent address. And may I now request the learned speaker for today, CA Ayush Jain ji, for his session, sir.
Good evening all. Good evening, Chairman sir, Ashish ji, Secretary sir. I'd like to thank Ethical Standard Boards for allowing me and giving me this opportunity to address the members across the country on this very important topic. And I'd like to thank Vice Chairman sir, Mangesh ji as well for laying down the preface of the seminar. And Chairman sir, Anup sir, for emphasizing upon the disciplinary mechanism as well as indicating that in the coming times with the government nominee in the at the head of the at the helm of the disciplinary mechanism, how things can be very relevant for the profession ahead, and this topic, how could this be very relevant for the profession ahead. And thank you, thank you, CA Sunil ji from the Patna branch. And to begin with, to begin the session, I like to intimate to all the participants that they can very well raise the queries, and our secretary sir and ma'am will take care of the queries, and we can easily answer any FAQs and any queries that may be raised by the members at large with respect to this particular webinar. And Ashish, you may raise the query as and when they arrive, and so that we can answer immediately. And with this, I like to share my screen. I hope I'm allowed. Is my screen visible, Ashish ji?
Yes, it is visible. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, ICI disciplinary mechanism. To begin with, ICI disciplinary mechanism, I like to firstly bring to your kind attention the first part, the very basics. We can start with the basics part. That is the in the disciplinary mechanism. Now we have two disciplinary mechanism, or let's say it is being held at two levels. One is the ICI level, which is the regulatory prime regulatory body of the chartered accountants, and the second is NFRA, the regulators with the limit with the defined predefined jurisdiction under the Companies Act of India, and with the jurisdiction pertains to a certain number of companies with the covered under the NAFRA 2018 rules. Okay, so with to start with the basics, uh, the website, I like to draw your attention to the website. All the relevant content of the disciplinary mechanism of ICI, it is provided at disc.icn.org. This is the dedicated website by ICI for narrating or specifying the entire disciplinary mechanism, not just the disciplinary mechanism, but also containing all the relevant acts, rules, regulations, code of ethics, as well as the recently passed orders by the disciplinary directorate or the disciplinary committee benches. Now, this is the website of disc.icn.org, and when it comes to NFRA, this is the website for NFRA, nfra.gov.in. Again, on the similar pattern, this is the website which contains all the relevant acts and rules as well as about NFRA. Also, this website is relevant for the NFRA filing, which is mandatory for the for all the CA firms, auditor firms, which are governed by the NFRA, and such filing is on annual basis, that is by after the within six within by the end of the 30th November or 31st December of the subsequent year. So if for the year 2023-24, the relevant date will be 30th November or 31st December 2024. This is the relevant date. And then this is the disciplinary mechanism. The disciplinary mechanism when it comes to ICI. So we'll be talking both the mechanism simultaneously to have a clarity. And when it comes to ICI, this is the disciplinary mechanism of ICI. So at ICI level, there are two disciplinary mechanisms. This, or let's say disciplinary mechanism, it has got these three limbs. One is disciplinary directorate. This is the first level. All complaints filed with the ICI are passed through this level first. All means all. So all complaints are passed through this level. They first go to this level, and then based upon the nature of complaint, they are passed to either board of discipline or disciplinary committee. So this is the broader shape. This is the disciplinary mechanism of ICI. And if I share with you, or if I tell you the entire hierarchy of ICI code of ethics, ICI disciplinary mechanism, then this is how it can be summarized in a very crisp manner. ICI disciplinary mechanism, it begins with the filing of complaint. So the first part is filing of complaint. If I tell you the page number, this is where entire code of ethics, entire disciplinary mechanism is being defined. The very first step of disciplinary mechanism begins with the filing of complaint, which is being filed at this page, at this link, which is file complaint, and the respective form is form 1. For filing of complaint, the respective form is form 1, where any person whosoever, irrespective whether he is or she is chartered accountant, whether any government body or any individual or any person defined under any act, can file a complaint against chartered accountant. And in this particular form, which is form 1, in this particular form, which is form 1, and let me show you the form 1. This is the form 1. This is the form 1. in which filing is to be made. For any complaint to be filed against a chartered accountant or a CA firm, complaint is to be filed at in this form one. This is the primary document, and this is very important document because it contains the complaint, and any defect in this particular form one can result to a defective complaint, and can also result in rejection or what we can say in cancellation of the complaint to be filed. So this is the form one which is to be filed, which is very basic but contain very specific details which are to be submitted. Which is first is for name of the complainant. If if it is a chartered accountant, then membership number is to be provided. Otherwise, no membership number is required. Second is name of member or firm. So complaint can be filed either against a member or it can be filed against a firm, FRN. So whosoever it is being filed against, then such name of the chartered accountant or name of the firm is to be provided with membership number of the chartered accountant or FRN of the CA firm. Then address of the complainant. Then a complaint can be filed by CA firm. Complaint can be filed by a chartered accountant. Complaint can be filed by a company. It can be filed by a government body. It can be filed by a partnership firm. It can be filed by any person, any individual as well, whether or not such person is a related party to the complaint, irregardless of the fact that the complainant is the grievance party or not, aggrieved party or not, it doesn't matter. Complaint can be filed by any person whosoever. Then last available professional address of the member or the firm. Then allegations. This part is very important. Here, allegations are to be serially numbered together with clause or part of the relevant schedule. These are the schedules of first and second schedule of the CA Act 1949. And allegations, whatever allegations are to be filed against a chartered accountant or CA firm, such allegations are to be filed in a very specific and precise manner, where allegations are to be written and a relevant clause or part of the first or second schedule or both the schedule is to be referred along with the allegation. Only if the allegations are provided in a such specific manner and with reference to the relevant clause of the first or second schedule of the CA Act, then only primarily the form 1 is considered as a valid complaint. Considering that the complaint can be very wide, a reference of the complaint of a separate letter whereby all the allegations with reference of the relevant clause or part of the first or second schedule of CA Act is given, reference of such detailed complaint can also be given at this particular part. And such complaint can also be attached along with this form 1 at this particular part at this file complaint section, and this can be uploaded here by paying a fees of rupees 2500 plus GST. And particulars of any evidence, they can also be uploaded. And then particulars of people, knowledge of the case, signature of the complainant. This is the primary one-pager form to file a complaint against a chartered accountant or a CA firm. At this, it can be uploaded here. Either it can be sent physically to ICI Vishwasnagar, Delhi, or it can also be at this address. At this address, either it can be sent physically at this address, or it can be sent or it can be filed in virtual mode in digitally at this link by clicking on this link. So it is at the choice of the complainant. Then once a complaint is filed, then ICI disciplinary directorate level. So the first level I mentioned you, the first level is this disciplinary directorate level. They prima facie look at the assess the complaint to assess any defect in the complaint as such. Then if the complaint is primarily seem okay, then they issue a complaint reference number, which is normally referred as DD slash and something, followed by DD slash and the number year in which the complaint is filed. This is the reference number which stays common till the very end, till the disposal of the complaint at any level. So this primary reference number is the unique number which is to be referred at all communications across all proceedings of the complaint. Then after this number is generated, after the complaint is registered and complaint and such reference number is provided, such complaint, please understand carefully, such complaint is being as it is forwarded to the respondent, to the person against whom the complaint is being filed. Such complaint is forwarded as it is, along with one cover letter of ICI informing the respondent that such complaint is being filed against you by so and so person, and they are supposed to reply and submit written statement within 21 days of submission of within 21 days of receipt of letter of ICI. So within 21 days of receipt of letter of ICI, not from the date of letter of ICI, but from the date of receipt of the letter of ICI, within 21 days of such date of receipt of letter of ICI, written statement, detailed written statement is to be submitted by the respondent to the ICI. So extension is only and as per the ICI disciplinary rules, one extension of 30 days is permissible. One extension of 30 days is permissible. Legally, not more than one extension is permissible as per law. And such extension is also to be asked by emailing back to disca@ici.org. The email ID is given here. Let me, this is the email ID, disc.ici.org. This is the email ID, disc@ici.org. This is the email ID for all communication with disciplinary directorate. Then after this, now at this point, all members or CA firms must understand that this is the one-time opportunity to provide defense against the complaint filed against you. This is the single window one-time opportunity. So complainant filed a complaint against you with the ICI. Then ICI forwards the same complaint to the respondent to submit a detailed written statement. While drafting the written statement, few points must be taken, must be understood and take into consideration that such written statement must be specific. Such written statement must be must contain defense against each allegation of the complainant. The response is necessarily as inferred from the recent matters or from the past few years. We have seen the disciplinary matters we have handled before ICI. It has been seen, it has been observed that the replies on each allegation on merits is necessitated by ICI disciplinary directorate level. Even if you are submitting the submissions on legal basis, or you are submissions on saying that such complaint is not tenable or it is defective and needs to be rejected outrightly. Even in such circumstances, it has been observed and seen in the past in various matters handled by us that ICI Directorate re-emphasize to submit submissions, to make submissions by way of written statement by the respondent on merits. So it is suggested, it is highly recommended to submit the submissions, to make submissions in the written statement on merits on against each allegation. Then, and if required, then take avail time extension also. And however, please note that legally not more than one extension is permissible. And as soon as you in any unfortunate event, if you receive a complaint, if you receive the letter from ICI, as soon as you receive the same, please take action immediately. Do not think that 21 days are there, will take care after 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. Please take action immediately. It takes substantial time to draft written statement, because this is the primary document, primary defense, and this is the one-time opportunity being given to the respondent. And how it is and what are the implications of treading it lightly, I'll explain in the in coming time. Now, after this, written statement is submitted by the respondent to the ICI, then ICI takes ICI as it is, forward such written statement to the complainant. Yes. So complainant filed the complaint. Now it is being forwarded. Such complaint is forwarded to the respondent to make a written statement. Respondent files a written statement. Now such written statement is also submitted to the complainant for filing a rejoinder, meaning thereby that now if there is anything which complainant wishes to resubmit or wishes to make a representation with regards to the complaint filed by him or her, and then considering the submissions or written statement of the respondent, if anything is requires to be added, or if anything is required to be answered by the complainant, then at this rejoinder level, such complainant makes a submission thereof. After the exchange of these three documents, complaint, written statement, and rejoinder, ICI Directorate, Disciplinary Directorate level, the team at Disciplinary Directorate level, they keep all the three submissions, all the three documents at one place, and reads and assess and evaluates all the three documents, all the three statements. Now, if Disciplinary Directorate thinks that they need any other information to form a decision, to form an opinion, whether the allegations are genuinely tenable, whether the allegations are valid or not, or the representation, the written statement from the respondent is satisfactorily negates the substance in the allegations. If disciplinary, it is not a necessary procedure, but only if disciplinary directorate level deems fit, then they ask for information from any person, either complainant or respondent or any third party. Yes, we handled a case at we handled the case of Eastern Uttar Pradesh, whereby the complaint was filed against a CA firm who was an incoming auditor of a company. The complaint was filed by previous auditor, and in such matter, even after the submission of written statement and rejoinder, by the complainant, ICI Disciplinary Directorate sent a letter to the company to verify for certain facts pertaining to the appointment of the incoming auditor by such company. So even ICI may not necessarily only ask information from the respondent or complainant, but also it can ask information from the third party. Now, after all the information is gathered, ICI Disciplinary Directorate formulates prima facie opinion, which is commonly referred as PFO, prima facie opinion. So disciplinary directorate do not form a decision. Disciplinary directorate formulates prima facie opinion, where they assess each of the allegation by the complainant, consider the submissions of the respondent, and also consider the rejoined submissions by further submissions, if any, by the complainant by way of rejoinder, and also any information asked and by the directorate after the rejoinder. All this information is assessed, and allegation wise assessment is being made in writing, and opinion is being formed whether the respondent is whether the respondent can be viewed as guilty against under a particular clause of any of the two schedules to the CA Act 1949 or not. Let's say it is possible. Let's say the complaint is being filed. There were 4 allegations in a complaint. Now, out of the 4 allegations, it is very much possible that disciplinary directorate can prima facie form opinion to be held guilty in one of the four allegations, and in the 3 allegations it can held not guilty, or it can held not guilty in all the 4, or it can held not guilty in all the or it can held guilty in all the 4. So any permutation combination is possible, but each allegation is assessed independently. Then such prima facie opinion is then sent to the to complainant as well as the respondent. If in any of the allegations the respondent is held prima facie guilty, then such case is further referred to Board of Discipline or Disciplinary Committee, as the case may be. What do I mean by the as the case may be? If the held guilty allegation pertained to first schedule to CA Act, then all such cases are referred to Board of Discipline only. And if the allegation against where the respondent is being held guilty, prima facie guilty, falls under either second schedule to CA Act or under both the schedules to CA Act, then such prima facie opinion is being such complaint is forwarded to benches of disciplinary committee. So if first schedule only, then Board of Discipline. If second schedule or both first and second schedule, then disciplinary committee. So this is the mechanism up to this prima facie opinion PFO level. Now, if the complaint is filed against a particular chartered accountant or CA firm, and PFO prima facie opinion is not formed till such time, it cannot be termed as any complaint pending against CA or CF. So for all the purposes, whether MEF filing, CAG filing, for any tender impairments filing, or for filing for appointment as auditor while giving the eligibility and consent under section 143(1) at the time under section 139(1) while assessing the eligibility and submitting the consent under Companies Act 2013. At such time, firm cannot be considered as a complaint pending against such firm unless PFO is formed by the disciplinary directorate. So if the case is before disciplinary directorate and the PFO is not received, kindly do not consider it as complaint pending against you. Only after the PFO is formed in adverse manner against a CA or CA firm, then only it can be termed as pending against CA or CA. Accordingly, you may consider the filings of MEF, CAG, any tender, any impairment, and the consent document under Companies Act. This was one of the parts. Second part is, after this prima facie opinion is communicated, if you observe that two opportunities were given to the complainant, but only one opportunity of written statement was given to the respondent before forming prima facie. That is why I emphasize that it is very important that written statement must be dealt in a very detailed and careful manner. Secondly, after this prima facie opinion held in guilty, prima facie opinion held guilty and held in adverse manner is forwarded to Board of Discipline or Disciplinary Committee, any of the benches. Now, in such cases, the procedure is that another opportunity is being given to the respondent to submit another written statement if he or she wishes to submit. So second opportunity is being given to the respondent at this level of either Board of Discipline or Disciplinary Committee. After submission of this written statement, representations, hearings are being scheduled. It can be held either physically or it can be held virtually. And it is at the choice of the respondent and the complainant, or even it is possible that one can attend physically and one can attend virtually. It is as a choice. It is at the choice of both the parties. And at such level hearing, at the hearing level, first hearing, oath is being taken by the oath is to be given by the respondent, and it is to be he has to either plead guilty or plead not guilty. If plead guilty, then accordingly repercussions will follow. If not pled guilty, then another hearing is being scheduled for the representations based on the written statement by the respondent. And there is no upper limit to the number of hearings. It varies from case to case basis. It depends upon case to case. And after the hearings are being made, in similar fashion, each allegation is being held guilty or not being held guilty, and accordingly it is being decided whether what punishment is to be given, if it is to be given. So this is the broad mechanism of ICAT disciplinary mechanism. In case either Board of Discipline or Disciplinary Committee holds guilty in any of the allegation, holds guilty to a CA firm or CA, then such member or firm can file and can go to ICAT Appellate Tribunal for filing or to appeal the adverse order against such CA or CA. Appellate mechanism also exists. So this is the broad procedure of ICAT disciplinary mechanism. And This is the constitution I've already discussed. And when it comes to the orders, when it comes to the constitution, one thing, when it comes to board of discipline, this is the board of discipline. This is the board of discipline. And for the council year 2024-25, this is the constitution. CA presiding officer as on date, presiding officer of both board of discipline as well as the all the benches of disciplinary committee. Presiding officer is central council member CA till date, till how while the CA Amendment Act has already been made effective. However, rules are not yet notified. That is why CA presiding officer is the chartered accountant, central council member CA Rajendra ji. He is from Chennai. Then he is the presiding officer. Then government nominee and council member Preeti Savla ji. And then secretary is CA Sanjay Goyal ji, who is also the disciplinary director. So in the mechanism, disciplinary directorate level, CA Sanjay Kumar Goyal ji, the disciplinary directorate. And then this is the constitution of disciplinary directorate. And when it comes to the constitution of a disciplinary committee, then there are 5 benches to it. For each of the region, there are benches associated. Then for eastern region cases, this is the bench and the constitution. CA Vice President CA Charanjot Singh Nanda, who is member from the northern region of ICI. Then government nominees, then council member Chandrasekhar Chitleji, who is a member from western region, who is from Pune. Nanda ji, Vice President sir, is from Delhi. And Gyanchand Mishra ji, he is from Ghaziabad, central council member. So if you observe that for the eastern region, north region, western region, central region, so this is how they manage that same region council member is not there to maintain independence. Then in the bench 2, which pertains to the western and central region, so presiding officer is President ICI Ranjit Agarwal ji, who is from eastern region, from Kolkata. Then 2 government nominee, again central council member Sanjay Agarwal ji from north region and Kota Srinivas ji from southern region, Bangalore. Sanjay Agarwal ji is from New Delhi. Then for the southern region, bench 3 is there. Presiding officer again for the southern region also Vice President New Delhi, Charanjot Singh Nanda ji. Piyush S. Chachit, he is from western region, Mumbai. And Sushil Goyal ji, not from the southern region. And then your Sushil, then your northern region. This is the constitution where presiding officer is President from Kolkata. Then council member Mangesh Kinreji, also vice chairman of Ethical Standard Board, and he's from Mumbai. And Abhay Chacheji, who is from central region, from Bhopal. So this is the constitution. This is the constitution of all the 4 benches for each of the regions of ICI. This is the constitution which I wanted to make you aware. Then for all the orders recently being passed, it is all in public domain. Any person can see and can view the orders passed by the disciplinary board as well as committee. So for let's say for the 2024-25, this is the order list, and anybody can read. Let's say this was passed on. If you see, the recent one is 6th of July, and anybody can click on it and can read it. This was passed by Board of Discipline. Just for the reference, I wish to share one. Similarly, for all the disciplinary committee, regardless of the benches. All the orders are provided for each of the year. All the orders are being provided here. See, so central council member, as I mentioned, all the contain the facts of the case, findings, how the decision was taken. All proceedings are being provided in this document, and all such documents are in public domain. So for all the cases, anybody can refer any of the orders at their convenience. It is available in public domain and anybody can see it, view it, assess it. Now, this is with respect to the ICI. With respect to the NFRA, since we will consider both aspects together, when it comes to the NFRA, all all orders passed by NFRA can be found here. All orders can be found here. Click on it and you can find all orders passed over here. Against Reliance Home, against Reliance Commercial Finance, against DHFL, all the against Brightcom Group Company, against in the case of in the matter of an against Dheeraj and Dheeraj, against PCN Krishna Neeraj and Associates, CA Krishna. This is from New Delhi. The CA pertains from New Delhi. So all the matters are passed by NFRA are listed over here. Anybody can view and plan and accordingly assess what is going on across the country and the disciplinary orders, how they are being passed. So after the basics, one common query being raised by the members is, if held guilty, then what? So when it comes to the jurisdiction part, when it comes to the part, if held guilty, then what? Then, uh, then in such cases, if held guilty, then what? Then, and board of discipline may take any one or more of the actions. So, board of discipline can reprimand the member or CFM, remove the name of the member for the register for up to 3 months. I'll discuss the provision in italics for up to 3 months. Impose such fine as it may think fit, which may extend to rupees 1 lakh. So, if any of the matter is being held guilty by the board of discipline, then this is the maximum punishment which can be allotted by board of discipline, and the provisions in italics are yet to be notified. So these provisions have been already been given by way of C Amendment Act, but they are not yet notified. So once they are notified, then board of discipline can remove the member for up to 6 months and impose such fine as it may think fit, which may extend to rupees 2 lakhs. Then, if repeated, this is a new provision, if repeatedly found guilty during the last 5 years, then Board of Discipline can prohibit the firm, prohibit the FRN from undertaking any activity or activities related to the profession, related to CA practice for such period not exceeding 1 year, and impose such fine it may deem fit, which may extend to 25 lakhs of rupees. So, if board of discipline, I'll provide you, I'll explain, and just to make you aware, the NOC provision, clause 8, part 1, where incoming auditor has not obtained, has not communicated with the previous auditor, even such cases fall under the jurisdiction of board of discipline, and once notified, the provisions can result in penalty of rupees 20 up to 25 lakh rupees on the CA form. So very small communication, very small provision, but implication is so high. So please take such provisions very seriously. And if disciplinary committee where for example, which takes into consideration the cases such as gross negligence matters. If held by disciplinary committee, then either they can reprimand the member, remove the name of the member from the register permanently, or for such period as it thinks fit, impose such fine as it may thinks fit, which may extend to 5 lakhs as on date and 10 lakhs once notified. If repeatedly found guilty, then during the last 5 years, then prohibit the firm, FRN, from undertaking any activity or activities related to CA in practice for such period not exceeding 2 years. Here it was 1 year, here it is 2 years. Suspend or cancel the registration of firm permanently or for such period as it may think fit, impose such fine which may extend to 50 lakhs of rupees. So please understand the gravity to which these provisions are going, and your one mistake, one misconduct can lead to such heavy penalties and such heavy repercussions, in addition to the legal cost to be provided to your legal counsel to handle your matter. So these are the provisions which are to be taken care very seriously, and if held guilty by an FRA, then please understand, NFRA can impose penalty of not less than 1 lakh rupees, but which may not less than, so minimum is 1 lakh. In board of discipline, maximum was 1 lakh, while NFRA starts from 1 lakh, which may extend to 5 times of fees received. So the orders which you are seeing, that 50 lakhs of rupees penalty is being imposed by NFRA, because which may extend to 5 times of fee received in case of individuals where proprietorships and or individuals, partners, partners in their individual capacity, and in case FRN is being penalized, then minimum 5 lakh, which may extend to 10 times of the fee received. And they can debar the member or firm from being appointed as auditor, internal audit, or undertaking any audit irrespective of financial statements or internal audit of any company or body corporate, or performing any valuation for a minimum period of 6 months or such higher period not exceeding 10 years as may be determined by NFR. So such serious implications exist if held guilty. Therefore, it is highly recommended that whenever you are taking care of making any submission to written statement or to NFRA, because in NFRA, the procedure is that they sends one notice to the CA firm or a CA asking for various information, starting with the audit manual, QC manual, details of the partner, details of the fees received from such a subject matter company, various details they ask, and based audit file, detailed audit file. Once such information is submitted, NFRA carefully, very thoroughly evaluates and make evaluation of such documents submitted by the CA, and they undertake it in a manner whereby they check the compliance of essays. They check primarily they check the compliance of professional standard, that is standards on auditing, for each para or each requirement of essay, for each requirement of code of ethics, AS, Ind AS, they undertake each requirement, evaluate, and then they issue shockers notice. Then why such firm should not be penalized or action should not be taken against such CA. After shockers notice, representation is to be made by such respondent and to the before the NFRA, and then such orders are being passed by the NFRA. So this is the disciplinary mechanism and the financial and non-financial implication, or if held guilty. Then what is professional and other misconduct? So when it comes to professional and other misconduct, now at this stage, it is being governed by section 22 of CA Act. These are the first and second schedule. Let me just share with you what are these. So this is the it is just being downloaded. So this is professional other misconduct. So professional misconduct is defined in this manner. If you see, this is the professional misconduct. For the purposes of this act, the expression professional or other misconduct shall be deemed to include any act, the key word is any act or omission on part of any member of the institute. So whether in practice, whether in business, whether in job, not doing anything, just holding the membership number. So shall be deemed to include any act or omission on part of any member of the institute, either in his individual capacity or as partner or owner of firm. So even in individual capacity, it can be constituted as professional or other misconduct as mentioned in any of the schedules, first and second schedule, which I'll just show you. But this is first part. But nothing in this section shall be construed to limit or abridge in any way the power conferred to inquire into the conduct of such member of firm under any other circumstances. So while the professional or other misconduct can be any act or omission by any member or CA firm which fall under first and second schedule to the CA Act, even in such cases, they are not limited to only first and second schedule, but any other circumstance. It could be any circumstances. Even in individual capacity, even in personal capacity, there are ample number of matrimony cases. Not properly matrimony cases, but where the wife has filed complaint against the member, against the chartered accountant, male member, or vice versa, where a wife has filed case against the member in chartered accountant pertaining to certain matter of matrimony because of arising due to the matrimonial dispute, but filing the complaint against before ICI. Even any matter, any whether regardless whether it pertains, it is related to with the profession attitude or not, any conduct of a member, whether in personal capacity, whether in professional capacity, whether it has nothing to do with the profession also, even in such cases, a complaint can be filed before ICI and can be governed and falls under other misconduct. So this is a very wide meaning. This is a very wide meaning not given by me, but given by the CA Act 1949. So please understand that it is not just your personal, it is not just your professional misconduct, but also other misconduct are being governed. And just to brush up, just to make you go through, just to make you aware about the provisions of first and second schedule. This is the first and second schedule, begins from here. This is the first schedule and part one, which is applicable on professional CAs in practice. Just taking you through each of the provision. because the discussion will be very detailed if we talk about each of the clauses. But just to brush you through each of the provision, part one, clause one, part one, first schedule. So this is where it begins with. Let me just show you. So first schedule, and since it was substituted, so as on date, these are the relevant effective provisions of the first schedule, part 1. Part 1, clause 1, first schedule. If practicing CA allows any person to practice in his name, unless such person is also a practicing CA and in partnership or employed by him, then pays or allows, this is the first clause, then pays or allows any directly, indirectly, any share, commission, brokerage in the fee, profit, professional business to any person other than member of the institute or partner or retired partner, then or such other persons having such qualification and may be prescribed. Professional body. So company secretaries also covered here. Cost accountants are also covered over here. Then accepts or agrees to accept any work or of the profit or professional work of a person who is not a member of the institute. So giving any benefit out of the professional business of the firm or accepting any profits of the professional person who is not a member of the institute. Provided that nothing herein contained shall be constituted from receiving any. So, a practicing CA cannot accept any part of the profit. Now, provided that nothing herein contained shall be constituted as prohibiting a member from profit sharing or other similar arrangement with a member of a professional body, that is chartered accountant or other person having qualifications as referred. So, actually, your company secretaries, cost accountants, all these professions are defined. So from them, with them, transactions can be undertaken. Other than such prescribed professions, things cannot be undertaken. Transaction cannot be undertaken legally. Then enters into a partnership in or outside India with any person other than a chartered accountant or such qualifications. So when it comes to partnership, a CA can enter into a partnership with company secretary, with the cost accountants, with lawyers, with actuaries. However, while CA Act permits and allows multidisciplinary partnerships, there are certain restrictions provided by the respective acts of such professions. Like Bar Council of India has not permitted till date. ICSI and enabling provisions are there, but they are not yet been notified by ICSI and cost accountants. So, if the practicing C enters into partnership with other people, then this can be non-compliant. Then secures either through the services of a person who is not an employee or who is not a partner by means which are not open to chartered accountant, any professional business. So if a practicing CA is enrolled with the online portals such as ClearTax or any online portal, and they are procuring business through such online portals, and then such channels are not open for practicing CAs as per the law by such aggregators, for example, Just Dial or any all such, they are not open. The advertisement is not permitted, and if they are procuring business from let's say ClearTax or any such aggregators, then it is clearly prohibited by ICI, and it can be termed as a professional misconduct. Then, if practicing CA solicits or clients or professional work directly, indirectly by circular, advertisement, personal communication, or interview, or by any other means, then this is not permissible. However, requesting work from another CA in practice, it is permissible. So, if there is a group of practicing CAs, a WhatsApp group, or if you wish to advertise in a CA journals, NIRC journal or ICA general, then it is permissible. if you're asking soliciting work through it from other members, or if a member from responding to tenders or inquiries. However, while responding to tenders, please ensure that that the tender guidelines are also being fulfilled. Then clause 7 is advertises his professional attainments or services or uses any designation or expressions other than chartered accountants. Now we'll talk one by one. Advertises his professional attainments or services. Attainments, we have this CA firm has been awarded best tax practitioner of the country, or this partner is being awarded this with the top CA or management consultant, or he's being awarded with any title by central government or any company, any title giving body. Then such professional attainments or uses any designation or expression other than chartered accountant on visiting card, letterhead, signboard, such as GST practitioner, litigation expert, any designation other than chartered accountant, it is not permissible. Then, however, advertisement, now advertisement is not permissible by way of Google ads. However, advertisement can be given by way of write-up, setting out the practices, services, or circulars, or general information can be given. For example, various CA firms are now circulating or publishing information through WhatsApp statuses or LinkedIn or other social media platform, whereby they provide information, education for purposes. Such circulations are permissible, like due dates, or they like any information, or like recently held case studies, recently held orders of IT/AT, any such information, educated purposes, yes, they can share. However, they cannot advertise or any notification. They cannot advertise that we for all these for all the subject matter notification of GST, please contact us. Or we are the subject matter domain in this subject matter experts for these matters. Such advertisement is not permissible. Then accepts a position as auditor previous held, as I was mentioning. So previous auditor communication, accepts a position as auditor previously held by any other chartered accountant. So without first communicating with him in writing, commonly also referred as NOC provision. Then accepts an appointment as an auditor without first ascertaining the compliance of section 132, 139 to 141 of Companies Act. This is very important. If any CA firm accepts an appointment without ascertaining the compliance of these provisions, then it can result to professional misconduct. Also, in addition to the defective appointment as auditor, it can also be made subject to professional misconduct under clause 9 part 1 of first schedule. Therefore, at the time of appointment by a company, please very careful while accepting the appointment and assessing the eligibility, assessing all the compliance of all the provisions of section 139 to 143 of Companies Act 2013. Then charges are offered to charge on a percentage basis, or which are contingent upon the findings or results of such employment or engagement, except permitted under regulations. So while it is permitted under in various cases, in majority cases it is not permissible. So you cannot charge audit fees on percentage of turnover. It is not possible. It is not permissible, basically. Engages in any business or occupation other than chartered accountancy. So any other business could be very common, your insurance agency, or you cannot set up a factory. You cannot engage into any business other than a CA profession if you are practicing CA. However, you can hold director simpliciter. This term is defined under the regulations. So A CA can hold the position of director solicitor while being in full-time practice, or it can held appointment of as independent director, but he or she cannot be whole-time director unless such company is MCS Management Consulting Services, MCS company formulated and registered with CA. Then allows any person not being member to sign on his behalf. This was part 1, first schedule, part 1 of first schedule. Then part 2, CA in service, where pays or allows are agreed to pay any share of his salary to any person, accepts or agrees to accept any part of fees from a lawyer, CA, broker engaged by such company where he is by the employer company by way of commission or gratification. So this is not permissible for CA in job, CA in service. Then for both CA in service or CA in practice or any other CA, not in service, not in practice, but holding membership number. If such CA is not a FCA but acts as FCA, does not supply the information called for by ICI, Disciplinary Directorate, by ICI, Quality Review Board or Appellate Authority, while inviting professional work from another CA and while responding to tenders, or while responding or anything provided giving information. So false information if given, say claiming that we have so many partners, we have such turnover, we have such kind of experience. Any fictitious false claims will make liable such CA firm to be professional misconduct under such clause. Then part 4, other misconduct. So these 3 were professional misconduct. Now other misconduct other than the professional, where practicing, whether a member of institute is in practice or not, shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct if he is held guilty by any civil or criminal court for an offense which is punishable with imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months. So, regardless of the court, whether a complaint is being filed before ICI or not, if a complaint, if any CA is held guilty by any civil or criminal court, imprisonment is, and the imprisonment is up to 6 months, then automatically such CA will be held misconduct under the first schedule automatically. And for more than 6 months, second schedule. Or second provision of part 4 is, which is one of the most abused, or I would say most misused provision of all the clauses, is this provision, clause 2 part 4 of first schedule, in the bring disrepute to the profession of the institute as a result of his action, whether or not related to his professional work. So this is one of the clause of part 4 of first schedule. And so be very careful while considering, and in case any provision, any allegation falls under any of these schedule and any of the clauses of any of the 4 parts of the first schedule only, then such provision, such complaint after prima facie opinion is held will be presented before the Board of Discipline. And if the case falls for both first and second schedule, or only for second schedule, then it will be presented before Disciplinary Directorate to take decision. Now, the second schedule, if we brush up, then part 1 is for, again, similarly practicing CAs. So part 1, clause 1 discloses this is for confidentiality. So discloses information acquired in the course of professional engagement to any person other than his client, so engaging him without the consent of his client or otherwise than required by law. So this pertains to confidentiality. Then certifier submits in his name a report of examination of financial statement unless such financial statement are not being audited by examination not being by him, partner or employee of the firm, or by any other CA in practice, then permits his name or the name of his firm to be used in connection with estimate of future earnings contingent upon future transactions, vouchers which may lead to vouchers for the belief that he or his firm vouches for the accuracy of the forecast. So while prospective financials are permissible by ICI, so in where member clearly provides that he or she does not vouch for the accuracy of the projections, where such projections exist, it is not permissible and held guilty before the disciplinary committee. Let me show you the standards. Examination SAE 3400, examination prospective financial information. So this is permissible. Prospective financials are permissible in the manner provided under SAE 3400. However, vaguely and blatantly, it is not permissible. So after this third, then we have express these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They go together. Expresses 5, 6, 7, 8. These four go together. Fourth is expresses opinion on financial statements of any business in which he holds substantial interest. He or a partner of his firm holds substantial interest. Substantial interest as in 20%. If we say as defined by AS, by segment reporting AS 17, as well as considered by the Companies Act 2013. Then the next is 5, 6, 7, 8. These four clauses go together generally, where these pertain to gross negligence, where practicing CA or CA firm fails to disclose a material fact known to him which is not disclosed in financial statement, but disclosure of which is necessary in making financial statement where he is concerned with the financial statement in a professional capacity. This is first. So fails to disclose, then fails to report a material misstatement. This is material fact. This is material misstatement. Fails to report, then does not exercise due diligence or is grossly negligent. Not negligent, but grossly negligent in the conduct of his professional duties. And eighth is fails to obtain sufficient information which is necessary for expression of an opinion, or its exceptions are sufficiently material to negate the exceptions. So this is where fails to obtain sufficient information. This is where not exercise due diligence or grossly negligent. Then material statement, fail to report material misstatement, fail to report material fact. These four normally goes hand in hand. Then the ninth clause is fails to invite attention to any material departure from generally accepting procedure of audit. And 10th is fails to keep monies of his client other than fees or remuneration or money meant to be expended in a separate bank account, or to use such monies for purposes for which they were intended with a reasonable time. So any monies of the client, whether you receive for reimbursement, whether you receive for payment to GST department, income tax department, ROC filing, whatever fees you reserve, it must be kept in a separate bank. This is the requirement over here. Then part 2, professional misconduct in relation to the members generally, whether in service, in job, or otherwise. Then if such member contravenes to any of the provisions of the act or regulations thereunder, then even code of ethics is guideline to by the ICI, and all provisions of code of ethics are mandatorily to be complied with. Otherwise, it will fall under the jurisdiction over here. Second part, clause 1, part 2 of second schedule. Okay. Then second clause is being an employee of the company, firm, disclosing confidentiality clauses there. Then includes any information return or form through the ICI Board of Discipline, QRB Disciplinary Committee, knowing them to be false. Fourth is defalcates or embezzles money received in professional capacity. And fifth is acts an auditor of the company in contravention to the provisions of Companies Act. So all such provisions need to be taken care of. Second schedule, I'm repeatedly repeating again that this is second schedule. So, and the repercussions range from permanent debarment to 50 lakhs as well. Okay. Then part 3, in the part 3, other misconduct, a member of the institute, whether in practice or not, shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct if he is held guilty of any criminal or civil code for an offense which is punishable with imprisonment for a period exceeding 6 months. So up to 6 months first schedule, exceeding 6 months second schedule. That is how it is to be read with. And so please, you have understood, you have gone through the first and second schedule, and it is highly recommended as well as suggested to please take care of such provisions and keep in mind while undertaking any practicing assignment. Now, after this, these are the common issues. We are the last leg of our webinar. These are the common issues which I wish to bring to your attention. All these provisions schedules we have discussed in broad manner, of course. Now, these are the common issues which I like to bring to the attention of the members as general. Common issues include peer review if mishandled. The common issues which often lead to disciplinary proceedings. So, peer review, if mishandled or wrong submissions are made to peer review board, then it can lead to disciplinary proceedings. Similarly, quality review, if mishandled or major adverse findings are found, observed, then it can lead to disciplinary proceedings. Then audit report, if not qualified for errors in financial statements, then it can lead to professional misconduct. So it cannot be said that normally CAs cannot say that the errors exist in financial statement which are part of the scope of the management. But the scope of audit report is that for any error in the financial statements, such error must be identified either if it is not corrected by the management and they still exist in the financial statement audited by the auditor, then such error must be qualified and reported in the audit. It is a necessity. It plea cannot be taken that such disclosures are being made in the notes to accounts of the financial statement. No, notes to financial statements are again part of the financial statements. They are not part of the audit report. So auditor needs to qualify and report each observation in the audit report. Then if wrong format of audit report is being used, we recently handled one case of peer review where the audit report format, the changes, latest amendments therein, which were made in CARO by virtue of introduction of CARO 2020, they were not incorporated by the CA firm, auditor firm, and report was issued as it is. So such wrong format of audit report can lead to disciplinary proceedings. Then non-availability of proof of adherence. I'm not saying whether the firm has adhered adhered to the to such provisions or not, but non-availability of proof of adherence to absolute requirements of essays, all essays. These are the essays which I showed to you. All essays. For each essay, the requirements contained therein, the CA firm must have a document, a checklist which clarifies that all requirements of each of the essay is undertaken, is being complied with, and it is a requirement in each audit assignment. Then absolute requirements of SQC1, and requirement paragraphs of Code of Ethics. So these three checklists are necessary, and in the absence of proof of adherence of filled checklist of the requirements of essays, SQC1 and Code of Ethics, it can lead to disciplinary proceedings. Then again, non-availability of proof of checking. So these three are professional address. So these need to be adhered to by the CAs, and non-availability of proof of checking adherence to disclosure requirements of AS and AS. So let's say for an auditor, AS and AS compliance disclosure requirements are to be reviewed, checked, audited by the auditor. So a proof is required in the file of the auditor that AS, all disclosure requirements of AS and AS are being checked. And such checklist is very comfortably available at the Accounting Standard Board website. Then compliance with Companies Act, GST Act, Income Tax Act. So all such checklists are part of the audit procedure and audit file of the auditor concerned. Then dispute amongst auditee management or owners can lead to disciplinary proceedings. Since we handle number of disciplinary matters, it is quite often observed, that the dispute existed between auditee management or owners can between, like we handled one case from North Delhi, where after the change of the generation in a business of between two brothers, as soon as the next generation came up, so there were conflicts between the family members who were part of the management of such company, real estate company, construction company was the case, and to the belief by one which led to the belief by one faction of the management that the auditor is not independent but is more close to the other faction of the management of the company, which led to the filing of complaint by one faction against the auditor of the company, just because of the dispute between the two factions of the management. It often result to the filing of complaint, disciplinary complaint against the auditor by one of the faction of the management. And another case, common issues are non-availability of engagement letters for assurance as well as non-assurance. So this is while in peer review, there is emphasis on engagement letters for assurance services, and it is available in at various platforms, like it is being made available widely at even at CAQ, Center for Audit Quality website, at ICI CAQ. If you write ICI CAQ, at this website, all the formats pertaining to the engagement letters, as mentioned here, downloadability on engagement letters. So all the formats pertaining to engagement letter are provided on CAQ website, and it is necessary, in case it is not signed yet, get it signed immediately. And not just for audit assurance services, whether audit, whether statutory audit, whether tax audit, whether internal audit, whether concurrent audit, whether bank branch statutory audit, or information system audit, or you can say or even in case of certificates, the format is given, referred in ICI guidance note on certifications in 2016. Even in certificates, engagement letter is necessary, and even more importantly, even in non-assurance services, such engagement letter becomes a basis of the understanding and scope. It has been observed that non-assurance services have led to various disciplinary issues, where while assurance services are still taken care of by the independent standards, by the government of India, by various provisions, non-assurance services are not governed. And accordingly, disciplinary proceedings are often initiated because of such non-assurance services. One such example is that now where I filed ITRs. ITRs are filed by the chartered accountant, practicing chartered accountants. GST returns are being filed by practicing chartered accountants, and it contains the IP address of such CA firms. When third party use such ideas under GST returns and find certain irregularities or fake billing case, false invoice, false income cases, then they are offered filing the complaints against such CA firms before the disciplinary committee, before the ICI. So at such time, if you have an engagement letter whereby the scope of work is clearly defined, that the scope of work is only limited to the filing of the placing of the information provided by the client, but not checking the background verification, not verifying the authenticity and validity of such information provided by client, but the scope is only but the scope is only to place such information in the requisite format of the government of India and file such ITRs or GST returns. If such scope is defined in engagement letter, then at the time of any adverse situation, unfortunate event, such engagement letters can be referred to, and such engagement letters can be referred to, and punishment either by ICI or by NFRA or by any botheration by any of the other body or say economic offense wing, ED, CBI. In all such cases, such engagement letters for non-assurance services as well as for assurance services becomes very helpful in taking care of the matters raised by such bodies. So these were the overall disciplinary mechanism, and which I wanted to discuss with you and deliberate at by way of in this webinar organized by Ethical Standard Board. In case of any query, please raise, and we can discuss any queries raised by any of the members. And handing over to the Rashmi ma'am for further for taking it further.
We have received a few queries from the members. I'm just reading one by one. One is, what is the time limit, if any, fixed for forming the prima facie opinion by the BOD? If there is undue delay in PFO, what remedy open to the complainant?
So, sir or ma'am, in this case, there is no practically, while there is a defined timeline in ICI rules regulations published at disc.ici.org, uh, but practically such timeline may not be followed. However, there is a overriding timeline which is or say a threshold provided in the ICI disciplinary mechanism, that after the passage of 7 years, 7 years from the occurrence of any event leading to an allegation filed by the complainant, 7 years, if it is at the option of disciplinary director, that such complaint may not be entertained by ICI disciplinary directorate. However, practically no such timeline exists or being followed by ICI. However, in case your complaint or any complaint is being filed with ICI and the prima facie opinion is not being formulated or is not being communicated to you, let's say, and several months have passed, or even 2 years, 3 years have been passed, then it is suggested that you can mail with your reference number, complaint reference number, to DISC at ISI.org and check its status and push it to process it further.
Thank you, sir. So next question. Can ICI take action against firm of CAs? What does the amendment of 2002 have effect in CA Act 1949 with respect to disciplinary mechanism?
as I have already discussed and indicated in the paras, if guilty what, in the section if guilty what, that the provisions in italics mentioned over there, that against CA firms in case of repeated offenses, CA firm can not only be debarred for a limited time period, but also permanently. Also, the actions include repercussions of penalty of 25 lakhs or up to 50 lakhs of rupees. And therefore, it is hereby emphasized that for all the partnership firms across the country which are taking care in the manner that separate practices are being taken care at each of the branch offices, and separate partners are taking care of the operations of their respective office, it is again re-emphasized and bring to your attention that uniformity at FRN is mandatory in terms of the procedures, at least in the attest function, and by way of FRN level audit manual, and any case, any misconduct on part of any of the partner of a FRN can lead to the debarment of the entire firm, can extend implications on the entire firm. So please take care of it.
A practicing CA signs the extracted accounts of some specific account for his client, an incorporated private limited company, and such certificate is neither addressed to anybody nor has it got any assertion or certificate. In short, it is not in line with the guidelines nor standards as required by our institute. The certificate handed over by the private limited company to its service recipient is of no utility. Can this be construed as misconduct and subject to DC action?
Yes, it can be. If you want, then you can file, any person can file a complaint and provides a certificate and give reference of the schedule, giving reference of give reference of first and second schedule, and give reference of the guideline of the ICI, of such guidance note or standard of ICI, and disciplinary proceedings can be initiated against the CA firm or the signing partner or both, based on such complaint.
Thank you, sir. So these are the only questions, sir. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. I hope members who have attended this program will surely benefit with your deliberations, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. Thank you, Ethical Standard Board. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Secretary, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think we should sign off for this program now. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, all the members.
Thank you so much, sir.